Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please press the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, or the follow button if you're on Spotify, and leave me a 5-star review. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 reviews by the end of this year, and you guys have been actually killing it with those, and I love you guys so much. I also love to hear your comments, so leave a comment in the comment section. Let's get into this episode. The theme of this episode is mother-in-law. Oh my god, it's been so long since we've done like a mother-in-law theme, but let's get into it. The first title is, Am I the Asshole for Describing My Mother-in-Law's Birthday Cake as Kinda Gay? Trigger warning, homophobia, and abusive behavior. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm 27 female, married to 28 female. Yeah, we're lesbians. We've known each other for 7 years and have been married for 4. We were each other's first kiss, first love, first everything. I will call my lovely wife Emma from here on out for clarity. My mother-in-law has always been very vocal about her dislike for me and the fact that Emma married a woman. She was initially supportive when Emma came out, but I think she was hoping Emma would suddenly turn straight and decide to marry a man, reverting back to the God-fearing housewife state. When Emma and I first started dating, she would make subtle digs about how I wasn't good enough for Emma, but the neighbor's kid, Brandon, sure was. When mother-in-law realized that we were getting serious, she tried to sabotage our relationship by accusing me of cheating, being after their inheritance, and being a psychopath because I have chronic social anxiety, and other completely outrageous things. We were pretty fed up with her at this point, and since we both had jobs set up for us, Emma and I moved in together in a city about 100 miles away from mother-in-law. Since we got a lot closer during that time, I guess I have mother-in-law to thank for accelerating my relationship with my love. Mother-in-law wasn't invited to our wedding because she threatened to make a scene and bring her own groom for Emma. I highly doubt she would have, but we didn't want a chance to ruin our day. So, here's the current situation, and where I may be the asshole. Emma and I went to mother-in-law's birthday party yesterday. We only visit her once a year for Emma's sake. We brought her some nice crystal wine glasses as a present. She was making snide comments about our relationship. Everything was going as suspected. Mother-in-law's boyfriend brought out her cake, which was a chocolate cake covered in pastel rainbow flowers. I commented to Emma, perhaps a bit too loudly. Quote, Rainbow cake is looking kinda gay. Maybe she's finally coming around. And mother-in-law absolutely blew up. She was screaming at us that it was disgraceful that I said that she was gay, and that we even wore our wedding rings to her party when we knew that she didn't like to see them. She was yelling at Emma that she shouldn't have brought me because I'm a disgusting reminder that Emma isn't right in the head. Emma was fuming and close to tears, so we left immediately after. Emma said she doesn't blame me at all and no longer wants contact with her mother. Emma's cousins, grandparents, and uncle are blowing up our phones saying that what I said was wrong and disrespectful, and that we're horrible people, especially since mother-in-law has high blood pressure issues. I was trying to aggravate her, and I don't feel bad that I did, but I feel awful that I made mother-in-law say those horrible things to my wife, and that Emma is currently no contact with her mother, who she was quite close with before we were married.
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
Oh, Lord. I'm so glad. Okay, I was firstly going to say you should not be in contact with this mother, but I'm really glad. Like, I'm not glad this happened because obviously that sucks and is really, really sad that that mother-in-law was saying these terrible things. But if there has to be like a situation that makes you cut someone off, that's going to be like the best case scenario for you, you know, to like have to feel like you have to cut them off. If I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't want to cut her off because like she's my mom. But then something will happen where it's like, no, I'm cutting this person off. And it gives you a really good reason to cut them off. That is what I'm trying to say. But it's crazy how upset she is at being called gay or having her cake be called gay or looking gay. Like, that's crazy. And also the fact that the whole family is saying that that was disrespectful is also just like, okay, so you're all homophobes. Clearly you're all homophobic, and you should not be around these people because they all literally suck. And she's not close with her mom anymore, not because of you, not because of Emma, because she's a homophobe. Because she's homophobic and she's a terrible person. Like, you're obviously an awful person if you are going to act that way and not accept your daughter because of her sexual orientation. So, yeah, I hate this whole family, like, so much with everything in me. And I would be like, yeah, T, period. That's not disrespectful to say at all. Her saying a rainbow cake is looking kind of gay, maybe she's finally coming around, like, that is not disrespectful. Disgraceful. I can't believe you said that I was gay and you wore your wedding rings to my party. Pfft, dude, literally walk in traffic or something, please. Not the asshole. You didn't make your mother-in-law say those things. She said them by herself, and you two are better off without her. OP said, that was my gut feeling, but my wife's whole family has been harassing us nonstop since yesterday, and I'm feeling kind of frazzled. Dude, block them. Block them all. They're disgusting. They need to go get some help. They're the ones who aren't right in the head. Someone said, wow, her mom is super strongly invested into the hate, and her whole family is. It seems to not the asshole, as all that comment was commenting that maybe her mom was accepting of her daughter. Sorry, that was a crazy written comment. OP said, the weird thing is 10 years ago when my wife came out to mother-in-law, she was super supportive and accepting. But once my wife started dating girls, things kind of went downhill from there. Maybe she was super supportive and accepting because she thought, maybe if I'm super supportive and accepting, then because I feel like a lot of parents, at least like from, conservative, super homophobic places or whatever, or upbringings, will be like, oh, it's just a phase. It's just a phase. Like, she'll grow out of it. And maybe that's what this girl was thinking. Like, I'll be supportive and accepting because it's probably just a phase. And maybe me being supportive and accepting will make her not want to rebel against me and all of that stuff that the homophobic parents love to say. The way that I have, like, oh my God, I have dealt with far too many homophobic people. Like, I'm not, like, being around people that are gay and then having to deal with their parents and stuff, which obviously, like, I'm not even having to deal with them as much as they are, but I literally could never understand it. It was so stupid to me. I was like, why are you kicking your, like, I've told you the story about how one of my friends came out as lesbian in high school, and she lived with me for a while because her family would kick her out. Like, her family would kick her out, and then she'd be like, after a while, she wouldn't have anywhere to go. And she would be like, this was like before I was friends with her, she would be literally nowhere to go. And then she would break up with her girlfriend, and then her parents would let her come back to the house. So that was like an on and off thing for so long. And then we became friends and it happened. And I was like, girl, you can stay with me as long as you want. Like, I lived by myself in high school. So honestly, fully, like, you could move in, and I would never be like, put a time limit on even how long someone could stay with me. Like, if you needed a place to stay, you could stay with me. Obviously not like a random person, but she was my friend, and we became really good friends after that. But it was always so crazy because she would tell me all the stories about her parents, and it sucked because at the time, and like in the city in where we were, it was not common to be gay at all. Like, I literally knew of like 2 gay out people, and one of them was her in my town. So she like didn't even fully, which I'm sure she does now, but she didn't fully even understand like that it wasn't okay for them and to be acting that way and to be kicking her out. But she did, but she didn't. Like, she was like, oh, I just, like, she really just wanted the acceptance of her parents, which makes sense. Like, I get that. Obviously, everyone wants their parents to be accepting and loving them no matter who they are or who they love. And it's just crazy to think that parents could do that to their children, and it sucks. But someone said, so mother-in-law can mentally and emotionally abuse Emma, but you can't joke about a cake. Wonderful. not the asshole. It seems like no one in that family can handle you and your wife are happy and gay. Yeah, no. It's so offensive to them that they're gay. Like, that's so crazy. That is so disgraceful. I can't believe you're wearing your wedding rings in front of me. You need some exposure therapy or something, because what is wrong with you? Why is being gay so offensive to you? OP said, yeah, I really was not expecting that harsh of a response from mother-in-law. I wanted to annoy her since she'd been rudely commenting about my wife and I all day, but I wasn't expecting her to completely explode. The way I'd be making out with my wife, if this was the case, I would be making out with her in front of my mom. I'd be like, if you want to be actually an insane person and make rude comments about me and my wife, then here. I bet you she would freak out. I wonder what she did when they like hugged. She was probably like, oh my God. She was, ew. People like that are so annoying. Someone said, not the asshole. If it wasn't the rainbow cake comment, then it would have been something else eventually. I feel for your wife, though. I'm sure this is difficult for her. Opie said, after reading through these comments, it does look like she was just trying to pick a fight. She always does this, picking apart what we wear and how we show off our wedding bands. My wife and I deliberately refrain from any affection apart from holding hands in her presence. I'm glad my wife was able to cut her off finally. Ugh, that's showing off our wedding bands. Like, yeah, I'm married and I'm proud. Hello. Edit, in case anyone wants to know what the cake looked like, I unfortunately did not get a photo. I did, however, find some similar looking floral cakes from this company, but mother-in-law had pastel rainbow flowers on the top and pastel stripes on the sides. And she linked these cakes with like a bunch of, oh, it looks like a gender reveal cake. Okay, that's so funny. Edit 2, I'm so sorry, I'm really worn out and I think I'm just going to go to bed. I apologize if I didn't reply to your comment yet. I've read all of them and I'll try to respond in the morning. I didn't expect so many comments so soon. All right, so there's an update and it's the next day. I don't know how to make an update, so I'll just post another edit here. I woke up to an overwhelming amount of replies. I didn't think this many people would see the post. I'm sorry that I couldn't reply to everyone. My wife has decided to go permanently no contact with mother-in-law and low contact with much of her extended family. The only family member who has been supportive of us so far is her older sister. She's truly a lovely person. I don't know how my sister-in-law and my wife are such kind people despite being raised by mother-in-law. I understand I was wrong for making the gay cake comment and that it only served to enrage my mother-in-law. But my wife and I were talking yesterday and she said she would have commented that the cake looked gay even if I hadn't. Though it definitely would have gone over better had my wife said it instead of me. We're ultimately happy with the outcome and that we no longer have to attend any incredibly toxic family events with mother-in-law. As a side note, my wife has told me that she never felt terribly close to her mother, so my comment about them being close before marriage was incorrect. But that the hour-long calls she would have with her mother were just very one-sided conversations where her mother would rant about her day and our relationship, never asking or caring about my wife. Wifey and I have ordered our own gay cake from a lovely local bakery that is also run by lesbians, as a treat for the abuse that we've had to endure over the years and as a toast for better mother-in-law-free years to come. Thank you to everyone who commented and gave their insights. I'm glad that this was resolved so quickly. Yesterday I was feeling awful about my own behavior during the party, especially since so many extended family members were coming forward to argue on mother-in-law's behalf. I was sad that this event caused my wife to go no contact with her mother. Ultimately, I see it was largely mother-in-law's fault and that my wife's extended family are a bunch of sheep. Thank you again, everyone. I don't think it's wrong at all. Like her saying, I understand that I was wrong for making the gay cake comment. I don't think that's wrong at all. What? That's literally not. Yeah, that's not. I don't find that wrong at all. I think that it's wrong that your mother-in-law is homophobic. That's what's wrong. And this poor girl, OP's wife, she's obviously so like, she's that type of person that doesn't like confrontation and she's very much a people pleaser, because I know like that kind of one-sided conversation where someone just like rants to you constantly and calls you to rant to you because they know that you will just like sit there and listen to them. I know it's the worst, and I would never feel like I would always answer. I would always screw myself over, answer, and be like, oh, I would regret it immediately, but like I can't say no. And I hate that like having so many people, like when you're the minority of a group or a situation, like I'm more talking about like the way that the family is coming at them, they obviously feel one way, which is the correct way, OP and her wife, and the family feels another way, but it's like so many people coming at them. You feel like gaslit into thinking like, oh, am I wrong here? Like, I'm wrong and you guys are right. Like, I hate when that happens. It pisses me off because you could be so right, but if you're in a group full of people that are one way and they think one way and you think of another and you think another way, then yeah, you're going to feel like gaslit by them all thinking that, you know what I mean? That's why it's important to surround yourself with people who like feel the same way as you. And I'm more talking about like, obviously I do think that it's good. Well, you know what? That isn't true because these people should not be surrounding themselves with people that feel the same way as them. They should be getting out and opening their minds. But I'm more so talking about like people that are open and accepting should not surround themselves with people that are like have very close-minded, small little brains that think that you get what I mean. Okay, the top comment says, I wonder if mother-in-law was only supportive of the wife coming out because deep down mother-in-law didn't really believe it, or she hadn't really thought about what it entails. Like she still had this idea of her daughter's life being grow up, get a job, meet a nice man, settle down, have kids, etc., and never realized that this would change. Then when OP came along, reality hit home and she suddenly understood and didn't like it. The vague notion of gay was fine. The reality of seeing two women hold hands was not. Or maybe she was knowingly lying when she was initially supportive because she thought it was just a phase and would blow over. Like a parent putting up with their child's love for Pokemon or something. They personally find it annoying because they know in a few months or so it'll probably be replaced with a new obsession. Also, now I want a rainbow cake. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking too. That's exactly what I said. I'm so psychic, it's crazy. Like, yeah, that's so common of people being like, oh, I'm just gonna, accept it for now because it's just a phase and it will blow over. Like, I've heard that so many times, especially like being someone who grew up in a conservative town and like, but someone said that happens a lot. People are fine with the gay thing as long as it's not being rubbed in their face. Ugh. No. The way that people, oh my God, I cannot. When someone's like, yeah, no, I'm fine with like, no, it's actually making me so stressed to think about and pissed off because people will be like, yeah, I'm fine with people being gay, but just like, don't rub it in my face. Like, don't shove it down my throat and don't like kiss in front of me or anything. And like, I'm fine with it. That's crazy. But the way that I've heard people say that before. Let's move on to the next story. And this one is not a mother-in-law, but it is a mother. Am I the asshole for prohibiting my mother from seeing my child because she's tricked him into thinking that she's his mom? Trigger warning, attempted kidnapping, undisclosed severe medical issue, and medical shaming. I have a now 3-year-old son who is living with my mom, his grandma, for a year while I was away getting myself together. For personal reasons, I will not explain why I was away for so long, but I felt I needed to get better for myself and for my son. My mother agreed to take care of him while I was away. I FaceTimed with him whenever I could. Fast forward to last month, I come to my mother's house to pick up my son. He's happy to see me, and me and my mother are talking while he's playing with his dinosaurs. He suddenly looks up at my mother and says, "Mommy, I'm thirsty." I was obviously confused and asked my mother if she heard him call her mom. She laughed nervously and said that he had been calling her that for a while. She basically explained that while I was away, she told him that she was his mom and to call her that. I laughed and told her that I wasn't comfortable with that, since she wasn't the one who birthed him. I told her he should know that she is his grandmother and not his mom. She got upset and told me that he needed a mother figure while I was gone, and she was just trying to fill that role for him. She said something along the lines of, "I've been his mother for a year now, and you can't change that." We went back and forth until it got to the point where we started raising our voices. She spat out some insults about me being a bad mom for being away for so long and how she should be his mom because he doesn't need a mom like me. I simply told her that she isn't going to be seeing him anymore because I'm not comfortable with him calling her mom. We gathered his stuff and left after that. She blew up my phone for days, talking some mess to family members, anything she could to make me look or feel bad, but I refused to forgive her, especially after all of the stuff that she said. Am I the asshole? Edit, a word for those of you saying I abandoned him. I didn't. I was too sick to take care of him. That's all I'm going to say about that. I couldn't be the best mother to him because of my medical issues. I wanted to be there for him. I didn't just dump him on my mother. I feel the need to explain that because people are getting the wrong idea. It was possible for him to visit, but my mom said it would be best if he didn't see me like that because he'd be too young to understand. And I trusted her, so I didn't allow him to visit. No, I wasn't in a mental hospital or a rehab. It was physical health reasons. A lot of you are saying you thought I was in rehab because of the way that I worded things in my post. Rather than edit out the original, I would just like to explain that it's probably not the best wording to use for the situation, and I understand that now. What I meant to say was I felt I needed to be in better health for my son, and getting myself together in my head pretty much means getting better and healthier. I apologize for that. Regardless, even if you were having mental health issues or if you were having like addiction or alcohol issues, that's also fine to be trying to get better for your son. I don't understand why that even matters. Like, I don't think that it matters if you're unhealthy in any way and you think that and you want to go get better so that you can better raise your child. There's nothing wrong with that. And if anything, that is more than encouraged. And I feel like you absolutely should. And you're not a bad mother for that. You are actually an amazing mother because you're putting like the future of your child first, and the future of your child relies on you being healthy, regardless if it's mental or physical. So, because look at like how things have happened with mothers that are mentally ill and keep taking care of their children. Like, there have been very bad outcomes from those situations. I recently heard of a case which is extremely sad. I think this was in like 2015, and she pushed her son on a swing for 44 hours in Maryland, and her son was 3 years old and died of dehydration and hypothermia while in the swing because this woman was mentally ill. I believe she was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and she had medicine and stuff, but she wasn't taking it. And that case, when I heard about that, that's so sad and upsetting. I mean, yeah. But anyways, sorry. Edit, same post next day. This will probably be my last edit. My son is getting a therapist like a lot of you have commented. I'm considering working things out with my mother only because I don't want her fighting for custody. Still unsure though. And then this says most of OP's original comments were her trying to clarify why she was in the hospital and that she didn't just abandon him. Why are people being so annoying? Someone said, everyone sucks here. Were you in regular contact or just when you had the time? Did you have a set time when you'd be back, or did she have a reason to think you were gone for good? My opinion for right now is everyone sucks here. I actually hate you. I hate you. Everyone sucks here because she's trying to get better to be able to raise her son. Oh my God. People are so fucked up. OP said, I FaceTime with him when I could. I was gone for serious medical issues, so it was hard for me to talk to him sometimes. There was no set time that I would be back. It all depended on when I got better. To another commenter, can't exactly raise my son if I can't even move from a hospital bed. To a third commenter, I had no choice but to leave him with her. I was physically unable to care for him due to my medical problems. I didn't leave him because I felt like it. I've already considered talking it over with my mother. And one more, it was possible for him to see her, but my mom said it would be best if he didn't see me like that because he'd be too young to understand, and I trusted her, so I didn't allow him to visit. Oh, people are pissing me off. People are pissing me off. But that's how I feel right now about these people. Timeline, I raised him until he was 2, and then I was hospitalized, and he went with my mother for a year. He was only with her for 1 year, but your point still stands. Because I don't know what anyone said, but it doesn't show. OP has voted, everyone sucks here, but comments are very mixed. Guys, am I going crazy? Are people in the comments of my video gonna actually agree with everyone sucks here? Because I'm deeply concerned right now. I'm feeling very gaslit. Everyone sucks here? What? Okay, update 2 months later. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you, everyone, for the feedback that you gave me and the judgments, whether they were negative or positive. I took each and every one of them into deep consideration. I accepted the judgment and indeed realized that I was also being an asshole. My son has since seen a therapist, like a lot of you suggested that he should. He's done pretty well, although the therapist suggested he continue therapy for a little longer, considering he's still confused about the situation. He knows that I'm his mother, but essentially thinks he has two moms. I've done my very best to go slow with him and teach him who his mom is and who is his grandmother. Regarding his grandmother, I did what a lot of you suggested and let her FaceTime him every day for a couple of hours to not upset him. I did this until an incident involving her came up. I'm taking this to court. As much as I hate to further upset my son, I have come to the conclusion that she no longer needs to be in contact with us, at least not for a while. I'm sorry for all of you that this disappoints. I just want to do what's best for my son. As for my health, I'm slowly getting better in case any of you were wondering. I have to visit my doctor several times a month, but that's an improvement, honestly. Thank you all. I wish the situation could have ended differently, but I was able to try to resolve it. So thanks to all of you. Okay, so what I'm gathering is that people are saying that she's the asshole as well because she is like cutting her mom off and that's going to confuse her son, which is what I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that's why everyone is saying everyone sucks here. Because if they're saying everyone like she sucks because she went to go get help, which is how I was interpreting it before, then you're dead wrong. You're dead fucking wrong. But some of OP's comments. Someone said, sorry if this is sensitive, but I was curious of what incident happened that is making you go to court. Also, I think you're doing a wonderful job as a mother and wish you and your son the best life. You don't have to answer my question. I guess I'm just too curious for my own good. OP said, long story short, she tried to take him from me. To another commenter, she tried to take him from me in the middle of the night. And then someone said, did she try to break in? Lure him outside? Sorry, just super curious. And then OP said, she broke in. I forgot that I had given her a key to my house before I left for treatment. I woke up to the sound of the door opening. It squeaks. I went in the living room, saw it was cracked, went to check on my son, and she was in there getting him dressed to leave. The window in his room was also open, so I think that she was going to go out through there. Okay. Yeah, that's fucked up. I didn't want to press charges. The police said that I should take it to court for a restraining order. They basically escorted her home, but she was not arrested. I don't think jail is a very good place for my mother, as she's almost 50. Not saying what she did is okay. I still care about her. She's my mother. I always will in some way. I'd rather move far away from her than let her rot in a jail cell. After I get my restraining order, I'll most likely be moving anyways. I don't expect anyone to understand, but I'm not a vengeful person. In my eyes, she needs help and therapy, not jail. The police already have the incident documented, I believe. And then someone asked where the son's father is, and she said, I don't know. He left the hospital when my son was born, and I haven't seen or heard from him since. That's wild. There's an editor's note, and it says, keep in mind, this was during the height of COVID. We have no idea what OP's physical issues were, but COVID could have played a role in all of this too. We don't need to know what her physical issues were. You nosy ass people. I mean, I would be interested if she told us. But you don't need to know. Top comment. Almost 50 equals too old to go to jail? Good to know. I'm so glad I didn't see the actual post. Way too chaotic incident. And then someone said, I'm 35, so I also can't go to jail. Right, guys? Right. Someone said, my 4-year-old kid cried a few days ago. When asked why, they said, I don't want you to die. Oh, sweet of you, but why do you think I'll die? Because you're old. Great, thanks. Thankfully, my older son corrected her. But no, they won't die yet. They'll die when we're at least 20. Oh, so I'll die at 50. Thanks. Stop. The way that I would literally ruminate in my room as a child when I was like in elementary school about my children, or about, not my children, about my parents dying. When I was in elementary school, I would go to bed every night. And this is crazy to think about because I really knew who I was from a young age, right? Like overthinking before bed. Who would have thought that I would literally be medicated for this now? I would stay up so long, like I could never fall asleep. I would just be overthinking about how my parents are going to die one day. I would count the years, like how old will I be if they live till 100? How old will I be when they die? Like I would be thinking about that because I'd be so upset thinking about my parents dying. And then I would also think in my head, I'm never changing my last name because I never want to not be associated with my family and my family's last name. So I was always like, no, I'm not changing my last name because I love my dad and my mom. I don't want to change my last name. Like, I cannot believe I was just a little baby overthinking that my parents were going to die. My parents were like literally 39, 40 at the time. And I was like, oh my God, mommy and daddy are going to die. I can't believe it. How old am I? I can't believe I was counting up the years. Like, how old am I going to be when my parents die? If they live till the age of 100. Actually, so crazy. But all the comments are really just joking about her saying 50, about the 50-year-old not going into jail or going to jail. Someone said, I wonder why OP's mom didn't want her son visiting her. It's not that hard to explain to a kid that mommy is sick, but she still loves and cares for you. Probably because she wants to be the mother. The grandmother wants to be the mother because I think that she probably had some problems. She's been telling him to call her mommy. Letting him visit the actual mother will be bad for that. Yeah, exactly. Because then how is the grandmother going to explain who that is? No, I'm mommy. And then, like, obviously it was for her own selfish gain. She wanted this kid to think that she was his mother and he didn't have that mother. I'm surprised she even let them FaceTime, honestly. And she tried to kidnap, like, oh, okay. That's not. But anyways, that's the last story that I have for you guys. So let me know what you thought in the comments below, baby. And I love you guys so much, to the moon and back. Forehead kisses for you all, if you want. Okay, love you. Bye.
Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support.
Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.